long time. I don't do all the antics and shit. I don't got a celebrity girlfriend. I'm not finna be out everywhere. I'm not dropping music every other week. I'm not going on live talking about every other week.
And then I start getting calls from your team saying that you allegedly wanted to pay me to take it off of Hollywood Unlocked. And I wasn't going to remove it, but I asked my team to check to see if anybody else had posted. And although I think we posted it first, everybody started posting it. And then it became a thing where I think then she got, from what I understand, was unhappy with us not taking it down because no calls have been returned. I reached out to her team. We had a conversation.
Let them cheat and take them back. Must be your only nigga. I get loud just like my weed. I don't watch my tone when...
21 Savage's love life just went from scandalous to downright explosive. His wife, Kiana, has allegedly taken her feud with Lotto to a dangerous level, leaving Savage caught in the middle of a storm that's spiraling out of control. From secret vacations to alleged fights, immigration rumors, and messy side piece drama, this isn't just gossip. It's the kind of chaos that could blow his entire world apart. 21 Savage's private life is crumbling into absolute chaos, and the drama has spilled so far into the open that even the streets are starting to whisper that this could be the end of everything he's built. His wife, Kiana, is no longer sitting pretty in the background. She allegedly confronted Lotto in a way so dangerous. Fans are saying it was less about words and more about survival. This wasn't just a messy exchange or a little shade on social media. The story making the rounds is that Kiana and her circle didn't just check Lotto. They tried to shut her down in a way that's got people using words like fatal behind closed doors. And now, 21 Savage is spiraling. Insiders say the rapper has been in complete meltdown mode since the confrontation, raging so hard behind the scenes that it nearly tore his entire household apart. The fallout has been ugly, blowout fights, slammed doors, threats of divorce, and the tension is bleeding into everything he touches. But here's where it gets even messier. This isn't just a case of a scorned wife lashing out. This scandal is the climax of a years-long love triangle, one that's been quietly building while fans connected the dots through cryptic posts, leaked photos, and slips Savage himself made on social media. Because just days before the alleged altercation, 21 Savage and Lotto were spotted together on vacation, looking more like honeymooners than just friends. The photos went viral instantly, confirming what fans have suspected for years, that Lotto has been playing the role of more than a side piece. And if that wasn't already explosive enough, the backstory makes it even juicier. Savage's marriage to Kiana has long been tied to whispers of green card deals and immigration struggles, with skeptics saying he married not for love, but to stay in the United States after his run-ins with ICE. So now the question is unavoidable. Is 21 Savage's entire personal life built on lies? With a furious wife allegedly ready to risk it all, a bold mistress flaunting her place in the spotlight, and Savage caught in the middle, the scandal isn't just about infidelity anymore. It's about survival of a marriage, a reputation, and maybe even a career. And the way this drama is unfolding, the next move could collapse the whole house of cards. If there was ever any doubt about 21 Savage and Lotto, the recent vacation photos have completely blown the lid off. Just days before Kiana allegedly went after Lotto, Savage was spotted living it up on a luxury getaway, and not alone. Fans snapped photos of him and Lotto moving around like a couple on their honeymoon, not two people supposedly keeping things low-key. From the matching outfits to the intimate body language, it didn't take much for social media to explode with confirmation of what's been whispered for years. These two aren't hiding anymore. But what really makes this moment so explosive is that fans had been piecing together the receipts long before the vacation shots went viral. The internet has a way of connecting the smallest dots, and with 21 and Lotto, the trail has been there all along. Years back, the speculation started with a set of suspiciously similar vacation posts. Savage posted a shot from Puerto Rico, and not long after, Lotto dropped her own photos from what looked like the exact same location. The backdrop, the scenery, even the lighting, it all matched too perfectly. At first, they tried to play it cool, posting separately and never together, but fans were quick to line up the receipts. Suddenly, the whispers of secret romance weren't so easy to brush off. Then came 21 Savage's own slip-ups. For someone who's always played the role of private and low profile, he couldn't resist showing Lotto off in subtle ways. One now infamous Instagram story showed a photo of Lotto with a caption that had fans screaming, "No makeup. Damn you fine. It's only one way I can come about you, twin." He deleted it quickly, but not quick enough. Screenshots spread like wildfire, and the damage was done. That single post erased years of denials and gave fans all the proof they needed that this rumor was more like an open secret. And if that wasn't enough, Lotto herself doubled down with one of the boldest moves of all, a tattoo. Not just any tattoo, but 21 Savage's government name, Shia, inked on her ear for the world to see. There's only one Shia in this industry, and Lotto made it crystal clear who she was marking herself for. Fans knew right then that this wasn't some casual fling. You don't tattoo a man's real name on your body unless you're claiming him in a serious way. When that photo surfaced, Lotto and her team even allegedly tried to pay outlets like Hollywood Unlocked to take it down, which only made the situation messy. Because if there's nothing going on, why go to such desperate lengths to erase the evidence? By this point, the receipts were stacking so high that Savage's denials looked less like a man protecting his marriage and more like someone trying to cover up a relationship that everyone could see. Add in the sly references from other rappers, like Dream Doll dropping a bar about Lotto saying 21 more than once in the bedroom, and the tea was already boiling over. The vacation photos were just the final nail in the coffin. Now, fans aren't even debating if Savage and Lotto are together anymore. The conversation has shifted to how long it's been going on, how deep the relationship runs, and what this means for Kiana, who's been holding down the title of wife while her husband parades around with another woman. The rumors have finally transformed into receipts, and there's no putting this genie back in the bottle. If the vacation photos weren't messy enough, the fallout that came after pushed this scandal into dangerous territory. Kiana, who has mostly kept herself low-key and out of the spotlight, allegedly snapped after seeing Lotto flaunt her spot beside Savage. According to multiple insiders, she wasn't about to sit back and let another woman play wife in public while she was at home holding it all together. And instead of just throwing shade online or making subtle digs, Kiana allegedly went straight for retaliation. The word on the streets is that just days after the vacation photos went viral, Kiana and a group of her girls cornered Lotto and things turned violent. We're not talking about a screaming match or a little shove. Sources claim Lotto was actually jumped. Reports say she walked away with visible bruises and injuries, though the extent has been kept under wraps. Some even whisper that it could have been much worse, hinting that Kiana wasn't just trying to scare Lotto, but allegedly aiming to end the situation once and for all. That's how deep her fury ran after years of humiliation. Fans who followed the saga weren't surprised. They've been saying for years that Kiana doesn't play about her marriage, and that when she finally made a move, it was going to be explosive. But what nobody expected was Savage's reaction. Because instead of standing by his wife, insiders say he completely flipped the script. Apparently, when Kiana confronted him about Lotto, hoping for regret or even an apology, she got the opposite. Savage allegedly blew up on her for daring to confront his mistress. According to sources close to the couple, the fight that followed nearly turned violent inside their own home. Instead of remorse, Savage allegedly raged at Kiana, threatening her with divorce and making it clear she needed to know her place and fall back. Imagine that. Your man gets caught vacationing with another woman. You allegedly put yourself on the line to defend your marriage, and he sides with the mistress over you. The betrayal hit fans hard. Social media lit up with comments like, "How you cheat and still gaslight your wife?" And Kiana risked everything, and he still chose Lotto. It was the ultimate twist. The wife standing firm, the side chick flaunting receipts, and Savage allegedly turning his back on the woman who held him down for years. And this is where the scandal goes from messy to tragic. Because Kiana's alleged retaliation didn't just escalate the feud between two women. It exposed the truth about Savage's loyalty. By siding with Lotto, Savage showed exactly where his heart was. And for Kiana, it was the most public humiliation yet. To really understand why this scandal is hitting so hard, you've got to rewind to one of the darkest chapters in 21 Savage's life, his immigration battle. Fans remember back in 2019 when IC shocked the world by detaining Savage after it came to light that he wasn't actually born in Atlanta, but in London. For years, he'd built his brand as a hardcore Atlanta rapper, only for the truth to spill that his visa had long expired and he was technically undocumented. At the time, it wasn't just a minor legal hiccup. Savage was staring down possible deportation, which could have ended his entire career in the U.S. And then, almost like clockwork, the rumors about his marriage started swirling. Enter Kiana. Practically overnight, she went from being a mystery woman to Savage's ride-or-die wife. The timing raised eyebrows. The whispers on the street said that Savage didn't just marry for love. He married for survival. The theory? By tying the knot with Kiana, a U.S. citizen, he could stabilize his immigration status, secure a green card, and avoid being sent back to the U.K. The math was mateing for a lot of fans. Savage married, had kids with Kiana, and suddenly his case with IC didn't look as dire anymore. The family image made the marriage look real, and for a while, the speculation quieted down. But the timing was always suspicious. And the moment his green card allegedly came through, things started shifting. Because here's the kicker. The rumors about Lotto didn't really heat up until after Savage married Kiana, but before his immigration issues were resolved. Fans started noticing how careful he was about denying Lotto publicly. He couldn't risk being seen with her back then. If the marriage looked fake, IC could have called it visa fraud, and he would have been deported instantly. That's why he doubled down so hard in interviews and even on Clubhouse, flat out saying he didn't have a celebrity girlfriend and that he was happily married. He had to play the part. But fast forward to now, and it looks like the script has flipped. With his green card finally secure, insiders claim Savage's loyalty to Kiana is unraveling fast. He's no longer forced to keep up the image of a happy marriage for immigration purposes, and his actions are making that crystal clear. Instead of protecting Kiana, he's allegedly raging at her for confronting Lotto. Instead of keeping things private, he's bold enough to be photographed on vacation with another woman. Fans are asking the real question. Was Kiana ever truly his partner, or just the woman who helped him stay in the country? Because if the marriage was built more on paperwork than passion, it would explain why Savage seems so quick to dismiss her now. And with Lotto stepping out boldly with tattoos, lyrics, and vacations, the contrast is impossible to ignore. For Kiana, this isn't just betrayal, it's humiliation. She stood by him when IC tried to drag him out of the country. She built a family with him, and she carried the weight of being his legit wife. And now that he no longer needs her for legal security, it looks like she's being pushed aside in favor of the woman fans say he's been with all along. This isn't just a messy love triangle. It's the unraveling of a marriage that may have been rooted in survival, not love. And if the green card theory is true, then Savage's loyalty crumbled the second the ink on his paperwork dried. This blow-up between Kiana and Lotto didn't just happen out of the blue. In fact, fans know the tension between these two women has been simmering for years, boiling just under the surface, with receipts scattered across social media, lyrics, and even tattoos that Lotto herself tried to bury. Let's start with the infamous tattoo scandal. A couple years back, Lotto got caught slipping when fans noticed a small Shia inked on her body, Shia being 21 Savage's real name. That single detail sent the internet into overdrive because at the time, 21 was denying he had a celebrity girlfriend. But if Lotto had his name tatted, then the denials were nothing but smoke and mirrors. What made it worse? Lotto allegedly scrambled to get the evidence wiped. Reports say she reached out to Hollywood Unlocked to have the images and stories about her tattoo scrubbed, tried to erase the receipts before they did permanent damage. But the internet never forgets, and fans still circulate those screenshots as proof she was claiming Savage long before he admitted anything. And Lotto wasn't the only one spilling tea. The industry itself started chiming in, most notably when Dream Doll dropped that infamous lyric, "I can't talk about Lotto, that's 21's girl." That wasn't just a throwaway bar. It was practically confirmation from an insider that the streets already knew Lotto and Savage were a thing. It was the kind of slip that turned speculation into conviction. Meanwhile, Kiana was playing her role in a very different way. She wasn't clapping back on tracks or getting caught in blogs. She was making quiet, calculated power moves. For birthdays, she would post family photos with Savage, locking down her spot as the legal wife. Then there were the subtle changes, like tweaking her bio, dropping his name, or posting cryptic captions that hinted at divorce. To fans, these moves weren't random. They were signals of where the marriage stood and how much she was willing to endure. It was her way of reminding everyone, including Lotto, that she was the one with the ring and the paperwork. But Lotto wasn't backing down either. She started throwing shots in her music with bars that fans dissected line by line. On multiple occasions, Lotto's lyrics seemed to target Kiana directly, mocking the wife while flaunting her own spot in Savage's life. She had no problem painting herself as the woman Savage really wanted, fueling the feud and making sure Kiana and the public knew it. The result? A years-long Cold War between Lotto and Kiana, where every tattoo, every lyric, every birthday post, and every bio change became another battle in the war for Savage's loyalty. And while Savage tried to keep the illusion of control, it was obvious. His two worlds were colliding, and the mess was spilling out for everyone to see. This wasn't just two women fighting over a man. It was a marathon feud that blurred the line between wife and mistress, paperwork and passion, survival and scandal. And with Lotto now bold enough to flaunt vacations, and Kiana bold enough to allegedly retaliate, the war has never been more dangerous. The wildest part of this whole mess? This isn't the first time violence has entered the picture around 21 Savage's love life. If you rewind a little, the pattern is almost impossible to ignore, and it makes what's happening now feel like history repeating itself. Because before Kiana allegedly went after Lotto, Lotto herself was accused of doing the exact same thing to another woman. Fans will remember when the story broke about Lotto allegedly targeting a dancer who was linked to 21 Savage. According to the whispers, Lotto and her crew didn't just confront the woman, they allegedly jumped her. The dancer later came forward claiming she was attacked over her ties to Savage, and though Lotto's team brushed it off, the incident never really disappeared. It lingered in the background as a red flag about how far Lotto was willing to go to hold her place in Savage's life. Fast forward to now, and it's Kiana allegedly doing the same thing, this time with Lotto as the target. The symmetry is almost eerie. Lotto once moved on another woman over Savage, and now the wife has allegedly moved on Lotto over the exact same man. The cycle is clear. Anyone who tries to claim Savage ends up in the crosshairs of the woman who feels her territory is being threatened. And this is where things get dangerous. Because once violence becomes part of the story, it stops being about messy gossip or subliminal lyrics. It becomes a cycle of retaliation that can spin completely out of control. First, Lotto allegedly lashes out at a rival for Savage. Years later, Kiana allegedly lashes out at Lotto for the same reason. The side piece and the wife are locked in a tug-of-war, and Savage sits in the middle, fueling the feud by refusing to choose peace. For fans watching from the outside, it looks less like love and more like warfare. Every woman connected to Savage seems to end up bruised, humiliated, or fighting for her place. And if the past is any indication, the longer this triangle drags on, the uglier it's going to get. This isn't just a love story gone wrong. It's a toxic pattern of violence that's been playing out for years, repeating itself with new players but the same outcome: bruises, betrayal, and chaos. And now that Kiana and Lotto have both allegedly drawn blood in their fight for Savage, the question is, who's next? After years of juggling two worlds, his wife at home and Lotto in the shadows, 21 Savage has finally hit his breaking point. Insiders claim the aftermath of Kiana's alleged retaliation has forced him to make a choice. And instead of standing with the woman who held down his household through ICE raids, legal battles, and the early grind of his career, Savage allegedly turned to the nuclear option, threatening divorce. For Kiana, it was the ultimate betrayal. She risked her reputation, and according to the whispers, even her freedom, by allegedly striking back at Lotto. She did what wives for decades have done, fight to protect their family. And instead of Savage recognizing her sacrifice, he allegedly threw it back in her face, telling her she'd gone too far, that she was embarrassing him, and that if she didn't back down, he'd be the one to end it all. Divorce on the table. The coldest part? Behind the scenes, people are whispering that Savage doesn't even need Kiana anymore. The green card is secure, the paperwork is in place, and his career is flourishing on both sides of the Atlantic. The theory is that the only reason he clung to her for so long was because she was his safety net. But now that his status in the U.S. is no longer under threat, Savage allegedly sees Kiana as expendable, a chapter he can close without risking everything. And that's where Lotto comes in. Because if Savage is really ready to drop his wife, what happens next? Does he finally step out and go public with Lotto, claiming her as the woman he's been with all along? Or does he keep her in the shadows, hiding the affair behind denials and damage control, too afraid of the backlash that could come if fans realize he discarded his wife the second he didn't need her anymore? This is the most dangerous PR moment of Savage's career. He built his image on loyalty, loyalty to the streets, loyalty to his family, loyalty to his people. But right now, the optics are looking like the complete opposite. A wife discarded, a mistress flaunted, a cycle of violence surrounding his name. Fans are already asking if Savage has become the very thing he always rapped against, a man willing to sell out the people closest to him for personal gain. And let's not forget, hip-hop fans are unforgiving. Once they sense inauthenticity, the love can vanish overnight. If Savage dumps Kiana and parades Lotto as his prize, he risks looking like a liar who used his wife for paperwork and clout before trading her in for the glitz of a celebrity relationship. But if he keeps Lotto hidden, the public humiliation might eat her alive, sparking another round of retaliation that could spiral this story even further out of control. Either way, Savage is cornered. Every move he makes from here on out, whether it's filing for divorce, making Lotto official, or trying to juggle both, comes with explosive consequences. And the one thing fans agree on? He can't play both sides anymore. The breaking point is here, and whichever way he turns, Savage is about to set fire to something he can't put out. The internet hasn't been this loud in a long time. Social media is absolutely on fire, with fans picking sides, dissecting every lyric, every Instagram story, every old interview Savage ever gave. On one side, you've got people rallying behind Kiana, the wife who stood by him through ICE raids and family struggles, calling her the ultimate ride or die who got discarded the moment Savage no longer needed her. On the other, Lotto's fanbase is screaming that she's always been the one Savage truly loved, and that Kiana was nothing more than a convenience. But beyond the stan wars, the fallout is getting messy. Industry insiders are whispering that more receipts are coming, screenshots, dams, maybe even photos that haven't seen the light of day yet. Fans are combing through Lotto's catalog, finding new double entendres that suddenly sound like open confessions. And people are even revisiting Savage's old verses, pulling out lines that hit completely different now that the affair is out in the open. And here's where it gets serious. This isn't just gossip anymore. This scandal has the power to reshape 21 Savage's entire image. He's been marketed as the man of loyalty, the rapper who built his brand on authenticity and staying true to his circle. But if the narrative sticks that he used Kiana for a green card, then turned his back on her the second he was safe, it could fracture his reputation beyond repair. His marriage? Hanging by a thread. His relationship with Lotto? Still unstable, still in the shadows, but louder than ever. His career? At risk of being consumed by the very drama he thought he could keep under wraps. And that's the cliffhanger no one can ignore. What happens next? Does Savage file for divorce and finally crown Lotto as his official queen, making the scandal go nuclear? Does he crawl back to Kiana, trying to salvage the marriage and save his public image? Or does the mess consume them all, leaving Savage with no wife, no mistress, and an industry ready to turn the page on him entirely? One thing's for sure, This story isn't finished. And the next move Savage makes could either secure his legacy or destroy everything he's built.